Hello, thank you for joining me. Happy Monday. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. And we work on a project here every evening for about an hour, and we work on the projects from beginning to end. So we are continuing again on the Charming Chevrons quilt. This is a pattern by Krista Watson of Krista Quilts. This cute little zigzag chevrons, and we have the quilt finished, the quilt front, the quilt back done, and now we're to the point that we are going to start quilting it. And quilting it, I mean sewing the 3 layers, the front, the batting, and the back together. We're going to start by just doing along the zigzags. And we're going to do that with a walking foot, and then once we have all of the zigzags stitched just along the lines in the ditch, then we will be working on free motion quilting. So I'm excited for that, since I don't know how to free motion quilt like at all. So we're gonna use Krista's book to help us through that. So, but first we got to get all of the zigzags stitched with the walking foot, and that's what we're gonna start tonight. So thanks again for joining me, everyone, and I will flip you guys around. We'll get started. Okay, so I have the quilt here. So we're going to start, like I said, we're going to start by just sewing along all the zigzags. And after we're done with all the zigzags, then we'll start doing the free motion quilting in, I think in the colorful zigzags is where we're going to do the free motion quilting. To start out, I have a little, this is our little piece that we tested that metallic thread on. I'm going to just test to see if my tension is okay on the machine. I just put some red floss on it. I'm using this Madeira floss. I got this as kind of like a sample thing just to test out, and I haven't used it much. I took 2 colors out of it. One is the red, and one is like a maroon that's pretty close to the red. So the red, which is this, I'm going to be using on the bobbin for the whole entire quilt until I run out of it. I'm in the use it all up mode, so I'm just going to use all of use this until I run out or get the quilt finished. So this is going to be for the back until we get that, so the bobbin thread until we run out of there, and then the top I'm doing with this a little bit more maroon. So I don't have much information on this thread. It is cotton, that's all I know. Again, I'm trying to just use up stuff I have around. I will find out more information on this, Deborah, and I'll put it in tomorrow's post. But that's just kind of what I'm using here. I think it's probably 40 weight as well, so we'll see. I will find out more info on that. I'm just getting back into things tonight, and I am going to start in the middle. So that was a suggestion I read in a few books just to deal with the bulk. So I'm going to start in the middle and then kind of work my way through this roll, and then I'm going to actually rotate it around and do the other side. So typically with quilting, it sounds like they want you to start on one side, or they want you to sew, like if you're sewing from the top to bottom, they want you to keep doing that on the same side each time. But I don't know, I think we're just going to try and keep it easy for me. I think I'm going to start from the middle and kind of work my way over, and we'll just see what happens. I haven't quilted anything this big before like this, so we'll just have to, I'll need all the tips I can as we go, and we'll just give it a try, I suppose. So let's start on just this. I just want to quickly test my tension. I didn't oil it, but I did switch needles. So we at least have a nice sharp needle, and so that's a good place to start. And then we will check well, I'll oil it later, pushes the extra out to the edges and helps not have pleats in the back. So that's from working on one side and working over, Deborah, or I think I missed what we were talking about for that. All right, we are looking good. Yeah, our tension is just fine, so I'm gonna just keep going. The feed dogs right now, Gretchen, I'm keeping them up because we're using the walking foot still. I'm going to use the walking foot all throughout this zigzag stitching. And then after that, then I will switch to the free motion foot or the darning foot. And that's when I'll need to get rid of the feed dogs. And I think I'm going to just go with the suggestion of placing like a business card like this over the feed dogs and just poking a hole in where the needle would go up and down. So my problem has been that that my feed dogs, I don't know, they're broken or something. Like I'm supposed to be able to, if I flip this button over here, they're supposed to go down and they're not moving at all. And I've opened the bottom and I can see what's supposed to happen, but I don't know how to get it to happen mechanically. So I might have to bring it in, but I like the suggestion of just putting like a postcard or something over it and poking a hole in it. So we'll see. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, so yes, so starting on the center row and working towards the outer edge. Oh, it helps keep it from puckering. Oh, that's good to know, Deborah. Ooh, wow, I'm falling off my side table already. I'm going to scooch it over here a bit more. All right, let's give this a go, people. I'm going to just give myself a lot of slack here, and I think I'll get you guys a little higher so you can see how this goes. I want to be able to read your comments still. All right, I think we'll go right there. Okay, so I'm going to just start. I don't know if this is exactly in the middle. I just kind of have it rolled up. But I think I'm going to start here. I want to grab this edge here. Grab my fabric ends. Oop, I'm falling off my end table again. Stay up there. All right, so this is going to be a little trickier than just straight line stitching because I do have to move back and forth, so this may get a little testy, but we'll see. So, all right, I'm going to start right here. I don't want to go too far over the edge. It wouldn't matter if I'm just cutting this whole thing and doing a separate binding, but I want to kind of do a self-binding for the binding, which means I need to keep all of this excess back fabric, and I don't want to go further into the edge of that back fabric. So we're going to start right on the edge, and I'm going to start with a pile of itty-bitty stitches again, just to get going, versus just a back tack. I kind of like that idea of starting. It's kind of like tying a bunch of little knots, and then we'll go up to normal speed again, and you know what? We are definitely going to need the Wonder Clip, or not the Wonder Clips, the Grippets to help move things around a bit. So let's get going here. So we're stitching in the ditch, and what that means is I'm just stitching in the seam, like right at that seam. Some people like to stitch to either side of the seam, but I'm going to just try stitching right in the seam there. And this is stitching in the ditch is great. I think it's just nice for quilting if you don't want to see any decorative stuff, because you're just you're kind of hiding it within the quilt's design right on the seam. All right, then one more. Okay, so now I have the needle down. Ooh, this is going to get interesting, people. We are going to now we have to rotate this way. I think I might need a TV stand on either side of me to support the weight of this. But let's give it a try. I'm going to try and roll it up a little bit over here. All right, this is what we're dealing with here, but we'll get through it. All right. Stitching in the ditch this way now. So I'm going to just have to scooch it up every once in a while with the needle down, I think. The nice thing is that when we're done with this part, I'll be able to take all the pins out because it'll be quilted enough that we won't need any of these pins. All right, next turn. I'm definitely barely fitting it within the neck here, the neck of my sewing machine. Just backing up here a little bit. Maybe I'll go about right here, then you guys can see a little bit better. But yeah, so I'm still have this rolled up, but now since I'm rotating it back and forth, it's a little cumbersome. Okay, I'm moving it over to my left side again. Oop, lift the presser foot up. Getting it up on that table. Let's roll it up a hair. I have a hunch that I'll get the hang of this as we keep going. Oh, sorry, you guys. I'm a little out of the conversation too tonight because I'm concentrating on all of this fabric and everything too. But Deborah, I'm going to take your advice there too. Just a little bit at a time. One row at a time. All right. That one went faster. Let's shimmy to the other side again. Press their foot up. There we are. I just got to keep this in the lap, in my lap, so it's not on the floor. It wants to fall to the floor. I think I might grab, though, tomorrow, I think I might grab another, I have one more TV stand, and if I surround myself with TV stands, then I can go back and forth pretty quickly, I think. I'll just be trapped within the TV stand. And I think I'm caught on something. Nope, just moving it around. Let's see how it's going here, though. So I've done these little zigzags. I just want to kind of peek at the back. I can't quite peek. Let's just keep going. After the first row, we'll peek. How about that? I'm jumping the gun here. Oh, it'll get easier as the roll gets smaller. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I suppose the middle, this is probably going to be the hardest part here, where we're in the middle. The bulkiest part. Try your ironing board for catching the extra quilt. That's a good idea. I could set that up next to me tomorrow. Right, up. Back onto the table. Where did we go here? Trying to get it as flat as I can too before I get too far. All I have to do is remember to put the presser foot down. I don't want to accidentally leave it up because then I'll have a rat's nest underneath here. I'm still trying to let the machine do the pulling, but I'm just kind of helping it along, helping it just like stay slack and not work at it so much with the Wonder Clips, or not the Wonder Clips, the Grippets. All right, we'll jump to the other side again. I'm getting the hang of it, I think. We'll just keep going. We're just gonna wrestle it for a bit. Ooh, that was an odd noise. Oh, something to remember too is that there's stuff going on in the back of this, and as I'm stitching in the ditch, which means right along these seams, but that also means that we're stitching where all of the seams meet at these points. So that one stitch felt a little funny to start out with, but all I think it was, yeah, the stitches are still good. All I think it was is that first stitch went through a lot of fabric. And one other thing that I did, I put my presser foot tension. So usually I have it down all the way, so it's as tight pressure as I can get it. But so this is as loose as it goes. I've put it at not all the way tight, just like one stage down. So that means that the presser foot isn't pushing down on my fabric like too much. So I'm hoping that's helping the fabric glide underneath it easier. And so far it seems to be working fine. Like it's not bunching up funny. So I think that was a good setting to put it on to start out with. All right. Up. We're just shimmying back and forth. This is why people who quilt a lot like to get the sewing machines with the really long necks so they can, so a whole big quilt can fit in the neck here. No, it doesn't. That button doesn't have anything to do with the feed dogs. The button's on the side. That has to do with the feed dogs, and when I open up the machine and I can see all the mechanics of it, I can see where it's like a piston needs to be moving or a little bar needs to move, and it's getting stuck. Like it's not something that just isn't quite right, and it doesn't have to do with the top, I don't think. You were wondering if you were considering using the walking foot for the stitch in the ditch. It's supposed to move multiple players. Yeah, so that is what I'm using. So this I can show you the walking foot. So if I go to the side, so this is what a walking foot looks like. It's got this big, all this enclosed mechanics. I'm not quite sure what's happening in there, but this is a walking foot, and what it does is it has little feed dogs on the top. So, your sewing machine has the feed dogs, those little teeth by the needle, actually on your sewing machine, and that helps pull the fabric along from underneath. The walking foot has built-in feed dogs in the foot, so it's pulling from the top as well. So walking foot is good for that. You can probably, I'm wondering if you guys know, like with that tension with the, I wonder if you just, if you didn't use a walking foot, then I wonder if you could just make the tension less and kind of glide it underneath. Oh, Marion, I think I missed what you're saying. All right, we're getting close to one of the rows done. This end is getting shorter. You keep the whole quilt soft and not rolled. Just fluff it when you're moving the quilt. Your throat is short and the big rolls are... Okay, that's interesting. Maybe I'll try that tomorrow. Or maybe I'll try that on this other side. We'll see how this roll goes. I had just folded the quilt up, and it just so happened that it was kind of folded in a roll, and I was short on time tonight, so I'm like, you know what? We'll try doing the whole roll thing, just as is. But I think I think Krista, again, this is her pattern. She recommends doing that method too, just kind of bunching it up, like sliding it up like this versus rolling it. She prefers that method too, so I'll definitely give that a try. But it was already rolled up, so thought I'd give that a try too. So technically, you can free motion quilt these zigzags too. So if I were free motion quilting, I could just move the quilt back and forth like this. I wouldn't have to rotate the quilt. I could just keep moving it forward. But you'd have to be pretty good to do those straight lines, or use a ruler for free motion quilting to do these zigzags. So the free motion quilting would relieve this whole thing that we're doing, moving the quilt quite a bit back and forth. But it opens up other difficult things. So we're starting with what you know and grow sort of thing. So that's what we're doing. I can use the walking foot. Oh, you can't free motion quilt a straight line to save your neck. Yeah. I'm assuming that just takes tons of crazy practice and ruler work, but ruler work on itself, I've heard, just takes tons of practice. I don't know, I'm sure there's some sort of tricks to make all that practice pay off and work a little bit better, but I don't know. So, yep, we're starting with this. Oh, you think you'll do all straight lines? Oh, I think, Joe, that would be awesome. So what, I mean, like, once I finish all these zigzags, technically, I wouldn't need to quilt it anymore. That is enough quilting to hold this thing together. So really, I could be done. But this again is for me to really learn how to free motion quilt. So I'm doing the extra bit and just free motion quilting. But I think straight lines, I still think that it'd be fun to do the zigzag and then just do one more zigzag a little ways in. I think that would be really slick looking. What are you doing to what you're doing should stabilize the quilt. Oh yeah, doing all this this back and forth stuff. Yeah, so that's what I'm excited about, Deborah. By doing all these zigzags, we've already got everything held in place. So that removes one of our variables when we free motion quilt. So one of the variables is, the fabric wants to move around, because we're putting the 3 layers of fabric together, but maybe the top layer wants to move a little different than the other layers. You know what I mean? But we won't have to worry about that because we will already have stitched the 3 layers together, so it doesn't have anywhere to move anymore, or any potential to move anymore. So that will make it easier when we free motion quilt in here, because our fabric's not going to really bunch up or anything, hopefully, because it's already stitched down and it's just like a small area that we're working in. So I'm thinking that yeah, you're right. This is going to stabilize our work surface as we get going here. I gotta really reach my hand in here with all the bulk. All right, lift up. I'm just, I don't really have a good place to put these while I'm moving around, so I'm just setting them on top of the sewing machine, and that's actually working well, because I'm using up so much space in front of me just moving the quilt back and forth. Ooh, a couple more back and forths, and we've got our first row. I don't want it so bunched up over here. I want to make sure that the back is flat while I'm doing this. There we go. Like I want to just make sure that like at least this much space is nice and flat, because then I can tell that the back isn't getting all bunched up underneath or something, you know? So I'm just trying to finagle it. Ooh, that did that one in all one push. That's nice. All right. Oh, Bonnie, I got up. I didn't see the whole wedding. I actually didn't. I actually saw from that cellist on, so I actually missed like the whole ceremony and everything. But my mom got up at 4 a.m. or 4:30 a.m. to watch it. So I was pretty impressed. Oh, I hope so, Noeline. I mean, even this last one felt really good. And my tension, at least on the top, my stitching still looks decent. So I'm stoked. Oh, you recorded it and watched it later. Well, that makes sense. Oh, and you guys, I did not make any, like a stitch more's of progress on my Splendid Sampler binding. It's still out, though. I want to still work on it. But my parents and my brother, one of my brothers came up and visited us this weekend. They just actually left this afternoon. So we got to hang out with them all weekend, which was amazing. So no more crafting got done. But that was a super duper nice surprise. They drove up and we went to a Twins game. We were dressed in Brewers gear. Or I went to a Brewers game. For them, they went to a Brewers game, not a Twins game. But that was super fun. The Twins, they have, oh, I forget her name, but there's a woman who plays the organ live as the game goes on. So she's just watching the game, and whenever there's a moment, you know, like 2 seconds worth of a moment, you know, before the pitcher is getting ready to do something, or, you know, when players are talking to each other or whatever, she'll play like, you know, like it's like a real baseball. It's like old-timey baseball almost. She'll just play like nit, 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 nit. And it's fun because you can actually go watch her. You can actually talk to her. She's in one of these, she's in one of the bars, basically, that are there. And there's an area for her to watch. She's right over home base. In the Two Gingers, I think is what the bar is. They are a local, I think they are a local distillery, I think, actually. But then she's right there and she'll play, and you can chit-chat, and she's just the nicest, just sweetest person, and she plays every game. She's just, you can go see the organ player as she's doing her job to play all these fun baseball things. Anyway, that was really neat. Oh, your husband was there and he got sunburnt. So we were in the shade for most of it, where our seats were. But then it was pretty breezy. So in the shade, it was getting pretty chilly. Like we had our coats on and everything. So we would occasionally go into the sunny side, but holy cow, this sunny side, yeah, I can see why your husband got burnt. Everyone was bright red over there. It had to be 25, like I'm serious, 25 degrees hotter in the sun than it was on the shade side. And yeah, we were all pretty happy that we were in the shade side because we watched like 2 innings on the sunny side. And I got, you know, sunburned from that, and we were just fried from that. Last month you were at a Brewers game. Miller Park has a dome, which made it nice because it was cool. Oh yeah, so Miller Park, they have, they can open and close their roof. Minnesota used to have the Metrodome, and that used to be all enclosed, but now they have Target Field, which is so amazing. It's awesome, and man, they have the best food for a ballpark. I think it's good. So a lot of the like really great restaurants from around town also have stands or locations at the stadium. So that's really fun. We had Kramerchek's Polish sausage with sauerkraut on top. They're a local butcher in northeast Minneapolis that have been there like for a bajillion years. And so they have like these gourmet brats and Polish sausages that they had there, and we're like, that sounds just right, and it was delicious. If you just put it on a plate and put some fancy garnish or next to it, you'd think it'd be like, this really, really good upscale hot dog brat place. But that was fun. And okay, now the quilt's getting bulky at the end of the table. We got 3 more zips to do, and then this part's done. But yeah, that was so fun, and it was fun to see the organ lady. I just really liked that. That was just neat. But it was so beautiful out. So the day of the game, it was actually pretty cool. So we had a pretty cool weekend. Like on I think Friday or Saturday, it was in like the high 50s, when before it had been in the 80s and stuff. So that's a significant change. And then luckily on Sunday for the game, it was super bright and sunny, and still a little cool, but bright and sunny still. It just felt like just a beautiful, beautiful spring day, like perfect baseball day for sure. And then we walked to get food, and we walked to the sculpture park in Minneapolis by the Walker Arts Center. It was a nice day. Oh, did she play Take Me Out to the Ball Game? I don't know, but that's the type of stuff she was playing. It's just fun. She was really great. But it's just so funny. So it'll just be like these little snippets here and there, because it's she's not bothering the players at all. Like, she doesn't want to interfere. So the moment it looks like they're getting ready to, do stuff again, then she'll stop. So it's these little snippets of songs, which is funny. Getting to the end. All right, so this is going to be, well, this is how I feel about quilts in general, but this is going to be just a test, a lesson in patience, this whole quilting, I think. I think this is just going to be, just keep going, and eventually it'll be done. I'm trying to, oops, sorry guys, I'm trying to get it off the floor. I might need to extend the table that way a little bit. I might need the ironing board at the other end of the table, because it's pulling off the table with all the weight. All right, we're settled now, though. Yes, exactly, Gretchen, but being proud of doing it, too. It's just accepting that things take time. I think that's why my mom got way more into quilting before I did, and for me, it's just like they're all such big projects, So I could never do it. But I don't know, more and more I've been into it, but I always have to remind myself, oh yeah, it's okay that this isn't, it's going to just take a little time, and that's okay. So I'm doing a bunch of little stitches now here again. And I think that is that for row 1. Let's give it a little snip. Get my scissors out here. Okay, so look, I moved this guy all over the place too. All right, I'm gonna lift you guys up while we. Oh my gosh, yes, I'm so happy for the extension table. I wish I could. My whole table was an extension table, though. I know some people have their sewing machine in the table, like they'll get a table that has the hole in, or they'll make one, and that would be totally nice for quilting. Okay, where did I just end? Right here. So let's look at the back. Our first back zigzag. Cute. There it is. Oh, fun. So it's looking. Okay, tension's a little off some places, but for the most part, it's looking okay, I think. I could maybe make the tension a little bit more. My stitches aren't all the same length. Sometimes they're a little shorter, but that's because the bulk, I wasn't letting the machine pull the bulk. It was too tight. All right, where did that go again? Here, okay. So let's shimmy this back, and we will start the next row. I'm not sure we'll get this done, this next row, but I do want to kind of give it a start. So, all right, we did the left side of this zigzag. We're going to start and do this right side here. Get situated again. Ooh, let me get you guys down here again. Oh, thanks, Nolene. All right, where was it again? Oh, all the way up here. And I'm gonna have to go back and snip all these threads, but I'm leaving them long for now just so I can hold them when I start stitching so it doesn't bunch up. Okay. Zigzag number 2. All right, those are all the little stitches. Now we'll go to a normal length and find my grippets. Oh, I gotta watch out for these safety pins. I kind of forgot about them. I pinned them out of the way of these zigzags, so I kind of strategically pinned, but still that guy got a little close. So just trying to relieve some of this bulk still. Okay. Oh, you're always surprised to read about how people finish a bunch of projects in a month or a year. I imagine that they're potholder-sized quilts. You rarely finish one quilt in a year. Yep, I'm there with you, Jenna. I mean, everyone's situation is different, so that's what I always have to remind myself if I'm feeling like I'm falling behind or something, or like, how does everyone else do all this stuff? I just got to be like, well, you know what? They might have more time to work on it, or who knows? Or they might have been doing it for 40 years more than me and have some tricks up their sleeve, you know what I mean? I gotta just do what I can do. The biggest thing I'm trying to do, well, first of all, I was always trying to keep learning, but this consistency in the evenings here has helped me so much getting more stuff done. But yeah, outside of hanging out with you guys here, I'm totally not finishing anything, or it's been a challenge to craft outside of these evenings in the night, in the evenings here. All right. Yep, back over here. Maybe the presser foot needs to be a bit firmer because I'm using the walking foot. How would firmer, because then my tension would be better, or what are you thinking? Oh, that it would pull the fabric a little bit more? Oh, I'm thinking that's not the issue with the stitches. The issue is that there's so much weight and I haven't given it slack. So right now, if I kept stitching, it wouldn't be able to go anywhere because it's so heavy here and I'm not helping it along. So I just need to make it loose and help it along a little bit better before I get too far. I think that's kind of my problem. I just, like right now, I should probably stop and, you know, shimmy it up again so there's a little extra. I think that's really the issue, is I'm just trying to get better at keeping it fed properly. Ooh, we will have one whole area quilted though when we're done, a whole zigzag. Although, like I said, maybe we'll stop tonight. We'll stop at wherever we are at. Oops, jeez, I keep hitting you guys. At 9:30 here, so in about 15 minutes or so. We'll see how far we can get in that time. Get caught here. It's definitely still grabbing, so I can see that, like I can tell when I really bunch it up, I can tell that the presser foot, the feed dogs and the presser foot are still pulling it along, so I think we're fine there. Definitely still grabbing. All right, flip back this way. All right, down. Ooh, now we're getting a little wiggly. What's going on here? Let's see, how's the tension on this side? Oh, now there the tension got a little weird. Let me rotate this a little, get the foot down, and we'll take a look at it for a sec. Let's take a look at what's happening here. No, it still looks okay. Looks okay from the front. Oh yeah, there maybe the tension's a little high. Yeah, a little too much tension here, so I'm not sure what happened there, but I think in the grand scheme of things we'll be okay. So if my tension is okay again now, then I'm just gonna let it be. But yeah, it looks a little goofy there. So hopefully it's not horrible on the back. Let me just feel, since I can't flip it around. Nope, doesn't feel like there's any rat's nests back there, so I think we're fine. Again, you know, there's stuff on the back here too. You know, and I knew that going in that we might have trouble with all the back stuff. You know, we have all those zigzags and thick fabrics and stuff on the back, so we might run into a little trouble there. But I think we're okay. What does the round button on your machine, round button, did you mean that the button that's on the top of the machine that I was doing before, that one with the thing that pops up? That's pushes the pressure of this. It's how hard the presser foot presses against the fabric. So full tension is all the way down, and you can make it looser and looser and looser. So the looser the looser you are, the more, you know, your fabric can go underneath it just freely and go everywhere. Whereas when it's all the way tight, then it, you know, the fabric doesn't want to move as much. So for different fabrics, in theory, and different thicknesses, you might want different one. No, on the face of my machine, a button on the face. This, let's see. I don't really have a button. I have the 2 dials and this one for the tension. Oh, this is the tension discs. So that's what controls the tension of the top thread compared to the bottom thread. So if it's too tight, if the tension, oh yeah, so the dial, yeah, the tension discs. So if the tension is too much, so if I've turned it too high, I've made the top thread super tight, so that will mean it's pulling the bobbin thread, the underneath thread, it's pulling that more through the fabric than the bobbin's pulling through the fabric. So I will start to see like a straight thread that's been nice and taut. It's been super taut, and I can see the bobbin thread popping up from underneath. That means the top is too tight. So I can loosen that. I can make it less tight by turning my dial down here, and that way the bobbin thread will be pulling. You want the bobbin thread to be pulling at the same tightness as the top thread. So where they meet is right in the middle of your layers, and where it just changes depending on what fabric you're using or how many layers you're stitching through. So sometimes you need to kind of fiddle with that a little bit, but that's what this is. It controls how tight I'm making the top thread. So how hard it's pulling on that bobbin thread once it catches that bobbin thread with the machine underneath. So that is what that is. My tension discs. It looks like a dial, but on older machines, they are actually metal discs that are mashing the thread. And that's what's keeping the thread tight. All right, so this is working easier. I lifted my hand off of here, and I'm using this hand to kind of guide it, and I'm just kind of helping my other hand to just move the bulk, guide the bulk, and I think maybe that's the trick right here. Let's give that a go on this side again, because I need something to guide, but I need like help with that bulk. So if I can get my hand to help me out there, I think that might be something that works. Ooh, yeah, so we're going to be stitching through all of this on the back at some point here. So that's going to be a little bit, we're going to feel that, I think. Let me just check this again. I think we're okay. I think I'm getting real close here. I think I'm just seeing the shadow. So I feel like I'm seeing bobbin thread pop through, but I think that's just a shadow from my light. Yeah, I think we're good. I think it is the thread. You never adjust your tension, but once you have set it to a good feel. Nolene, I rarely adjust mine either. I do check it, but typically I just need to move it just a hair. I'll rarely move it from where it is now. All right, so now I'm just using one, and then I'm going to use this hand to just guide fabric. All right, I think this is going to do the job way easier. This is helping reduce the drag. All right, rotate this way. We can do it. So I can tell it gets tough when more of the bulk is on the other side of the table than it is by me. it's getting more difficult at that moment. All right, I think we got it. Ooh, you got your grippets from Mastrop. Awesome, Marianne. I hope you like them. I'm loving them tonight. Okay. Oh, you know what? I had my other grippet just hanging out on the top of my machine, but I can't have it hang out there. Then it'll be on top of, maybe that's why I've been having tension questions. My grippet was laying on top of my machine, which is laying on top of my thread. So that could add to the tension. But no, I think I'm just seeing shadow. I keep feeling like that's bobbing, but it's not. I'm gonna take a closer look when we're done here. I think I might just go till I'm done with this this zigzag tonight. So we might be here a little later tonight, but I just don't want to leave it hanging out in the machine like this. But I don't know, maybe it's good to leave things in progress like this versus feeling the need to have to just finish it. I don't know. We'll see how we feel in 5 minutes or so. Oh, and Bonnie, you got your pressing mat. Yay. Oh, stop worrying. It looks good from here. That's perfect. Perfect, Nolene. All right. I think I got the back flat there. Come on. All right, switching around again. A few more switchbacks, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 more. We can do it. Be fun to get a whole row done tonight. Alright, 1 of 7. Oh, yay! Marianne, you ordered my giraffe and beagle kits from Mastrop. Yeah, I said beetle looked right when I read it, but I'm like, wait, that's not quite right. Yep, the beagle kits. Yay! So I just got Mastrop's order for those today, so I will be getting that sent off to Mastrop this week, and then they will send it off to everyone after that. So I'm trying to do it as fast as possible so you guys can get your kits as fast as possible. But thank you to everyone. If you headed over to Mastrop and checked out my my kits over there, I appreciate it a ton. That's super sweet of all of y'all to do that. The sale ended on Sunday. Yeah, I don't think it was today at all. I think Sunday was the last day. So hopefully I'll be able to do that again sometime. We'll see. But yeah, it's a dangerous site. Okay, it's feeling weird on the back, but I think that's just because I think I'm getting some of this stuff now. I just want to make sure I'm guiding it through. Oh, I think I'm just on a seam. Oh, you got the llama. The Beagle was a new one there, and then I had all of the older ones as well. But the other new ones, those weren't there. Just the Beagle and the Llama. Yeah, at the checkout, you get to decide the one you want. I think that's how it worked. Up. Where are we at? 5 more. Come on, quilt. Ugh, there we go. Yeah, this will get easier once some of this bulk is out of here. Bulk wrangling, that's what they should call quilting. So many good things on there. Oh, your PayPal is coping with it. I hear ya. I had a couple things in my cart this past week, and I'm like, I don't know. Definitely dangerous. 1, 2, 3. Ooh, we just have 3 more to go. Yay! We're totally gonna get this done. This zigzag, at least this zigzag will be done. All right. Gotta pull all that quilt back up to turn it. All right, so here's the key to this, is keeping our eyes on the bobbin. I do not want to be zigzagging back and forth and not have had bobbin for, 4 zigzags. So I think by doing the zigzags, we'll notice pretty quick if we don't have thread. The bobbin thread ran out. But yeah, I don't want that. But, this is a fresh bobbin, so we should be able to count how many lines we can do with this first bobbin, and that'll give us a good estimate about when we're going to run out when we get to our next bobbin. I wound 1 extra bobbin, so if we do run out, we'll be able to get back on it real quick. Ooh, last one! So this is going quicker. This didn't take that long to get to the end here. Alrighty. Oh, you had to write a check to replenish the PayPal. Yep. Ugh. There we go. This last little bit the machine can pull by itself. Alright, I'm just going to reduce that stitch length again. Okay! Row number 2. So we have 1 full chevron row done. Yay! Ooh, wow, this red is really kind of fuzzy. I'm gonna have to, I think, every time we change the bobbin this time, I think we'll have to defuzz a little bit. Yeah, look at all this red and all this fuzz popping up right away, just after 2 rows. So, yep, I think every bobbin change will have to be an oil and a defuzzle. So let's take a look at this quick. I kind of want to see what the back looks like. Yeah, 1 down and 50 to go. I think I counted. I think there's like 20 something. I think, what are there, 11 rows? So 20 more left, 22. So that's our first 2. But I kind of want to I want to flip it. I want to see what it crossed over on the back. Oh, this is where it was getting really, where it felt really tight and weird. It's because I'm going like right along like 8 million things right here. Okay, well that explains it. Yeah, my stitches got real small there, and I did pucker it up a little bit here, but you know, all in all, that's not too shabby. Man, yeah, machine is dealing with it. Little loops here and there. This is kind of fun though, where we start stitching the design through something big like that. That's neat. I like that you can see that. Yeah, it's dealing. Some of it looks a little goofy, but I think that is a good start. I can't wait till we see these chevrons all along the back. I think that's going to be really cool, especially in these areas that are all just one color here. I don't know if you guys can see it there. All this red. It'll be neat once some are filled in with some decorative stitching and then you'll have just a blank one. I think that'll be just really fun. So, okay. One done. Ugh. And I'm actually not sure I started right in the center, so we might be helping ourselves out for later by starting where we did. Okay, that is that for tonight. We'll be moving on to the next chevron tomorrow. So, you know, really, if there's only 10 more, then this will just take like a week and a half or so, and we'll be done with all these. So that's not bad at all once you think about it like that, right? Yeah, week and a half, maybe 2 weeks tops, we'll be done with all these zigzags. Oh, that makes me feel good. All right, I'm going to flip you guys around and we'll call it an evening. Got to do the math to work it all out. But yeah, so we got to start today. I'm excited. This is the row we did. All right, getting into it. I think it was nice working on the Splendid Sampler last week because it's just got my mind thinking about the bulk of this and thinking about how to do this straight line stitching, and I feel warmed up, I suppose, is a way of saying it, for this round. So yeah, I'm thinking good. 2 weeks tops, and we will be ready for the free motion quilting. That's the real scary part, but it'll be good. So thanks guys for joining me again, and I hope you stick with me this week, and we'll be cranking out this quilt. I'm stoked. So see you tomorrow, guys, 8:30 p.m. Central. Good night.